Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I am Theodore Henry. It must be said, we continue to miss our beloved Deputy CEO, Ian Boyne. So between the pages today, we memorialize his life, his work, and his heartwarming personality that has impacted the lives of others throughout the years. Also, the captain of the Issues and Answers ship interviewed many over the years. And in this week's installment of Your Sunday Staple, we revisit his discussion with someone who's helping Jamaica become a safer place, one at-risk man at a time. It all unfolds after this short break. Volunteering for the Christmas season is a good way to offer vital help to people in need, help to worthwhile causes, and help to the community. This week on Issues and Answers, Eugene Pitter talks to the late Ian Boyne about his volunteerism program with at-risk men in Spanish Town and how he has impacted their lives.
Thanks for joining us for Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. There are some quiet heroes in Jamaica who are contributing a lot to their communities, who are helping to rescue people from gunmanship, from antisocial activities. And today we want to feature one such person, Eugene Pitter. He's the founder of the Just for Peace International, which is doing a lot of work in inner city communities in Spanish Town. Before then, he was doing work in East Kingston in a number of inner city areas. I've known him for quite a long time, and his life has just been dedicated to volunteerism. These are the persons whose examples we need to emulate. So we talked to Eugene Pitter today about the work that he's doing, and I'm sure you'll be inspired by it. We thank you for your company. Eugene, good to have you on the program. I remember about 25 years ago, you invited me down in East Kingston one Saturday night to be a judge of a youth talent concert. You were working with the youth there, trying to take the youth away from negative lyrics and to have them in positive directions. Why have you devoted your whole life? You're a teacher by profession. You worked as a journalist at the Star for a number of years. But would you have given yourself to this task of volunteerism? Why?
It's not an easy task, but I have a passion for doing it. I believe that if you come into this world and you are only living for yourself, that's not enough. You should leave this world knowing that you have changed the lives of individuals to make them better persons in society.
Yes. Tell us about your work that you're doing in Spanish Town. I know, for example, that you work with some of the aspiring DJs and you try to get them to do positive lyrics, to teach consciousness rather than push gun lyrics and slapness and so on.
Most of the DJs and singers were performing gun lyrics. I think that contributes to a lot of problems in Jamaica. So actually I have to mentor them to show them that, okay, you can get publicity by doing positive lyrics to change lives in Spanish Town. I remember that I started out at Jack's Cable. I was in programs manager, and I had a show on that television station called Just for Stars. Oh. And I remember that I came across over 20 youths, and this led me to form Just for Peace International, because a number of people thought this was an excellent program, because we were changing lives in Spanish Town. And these involve youths from like De La Vega City, Marchpen, Windsor Road, Rivoli, Tarspen, St. John's Road, and even as far as Central Village.
Yes. And you would give mentorship to these young people, and you would even take them to some TV stations, we have to call the names, and show them that they can get publicity from doing conscious lyrics. And you contacted me about 15 years ago to do something on Alpha Rowan.
Yes.
I was very impressed with it. You know, I'm a really excellent DJ, pushing consciousness.
He became a star in his community. Yes. And inspired a lot of youth, because one of his songs went to #2 on the national chart.
Yes.
And that is also good. But to add that these youths, it's not an easy task to deal with them, because they have to trust you.
True.
And a number of persons in Spanish Town will say to me, how do you do it? Because a number of these youths, they don't recognize their fathers. They have no male role models. And if you ask them about their father, they'll tell you that their father need gunshot or something like that. They didn't care for them, so they are actually looking for someone who can guide them and to actually make them become better individuals.
And you have worked with guys who were robbing buses, who were doing all kinds of things. I mean, and you knew that's what they were doing. And you talked them out of it. You gave them alternatives.
When I first
without calling any names,
right, when I first met them, they told me that nobody could let them stop doing these things, not even their girlfriends. Yeah. So, you know, it's not an easy task for me. But actually, I have to meet them one-to-one, individually, and I ask them first what they want out of life. Oh. And a number of these youths, they are DJs, are singers. So I actually have to push to get them on television to perform. And because of that, and they become positive and popular, they will no longer go back to robbing buses, etc.
Yeah. And you work not just with the young, you work with the elderly too. I mean, you have done a lot of work with Food for the Poor, you know, bringing supplies to people, helping people with zinc, various things. Talk about the work you do with
I have been working
seniors.
With Food for the Poor, helping poor people for more than 15 years, when Food for the Poor was located in Central Village. Yes. And I remember people will come to me and say to me that, for example, one particular woman was living virtually under a bridge. And I got information, sent it to Food for the Poor, and they got a house. Mm-hmm. There was this gentleman who I interviewed at the Gleaner Company, and he said that the children's mother had run away, and they had virtually little or nothing on Christmas. Mm-hmm. And I wrote the article, and as you know, that a number of the Gleaner article went abroad. Yes. And he got a 3-bedroom Food for the Poor house, yes. And he got so many furniture that it could not hold in that house. Yes. And a politician gave him, I think, 5 acres of land to farm. And he was getting a lot of money.
Power positive
from abroad.
Yes.
I remember one day when he went and collected the money, he said to me, "You don't want the money out of it?" I said, "No, you take all of it." Yes. And that is just one particular individual that I have helped.
Eugene Peter has been doing so much in inner city communities. An example of the kind of volunteer spirit that we should have. We take a break, but we'll be right back.
Children, and we have rights. We have a right to be
protected,
provided for,
and included. Don't beat me up, don't belittle me, and please don't molest me.
I am under 13. I should not be working for a living. That is child labor. It is illegal.
Stop leaving me alone. I am too young to provide for myself. I need your guidance.
Protect our nation's children. They have rights too. To learn more about children's rights, call or visit the offices of the Child Development Agency.
Eugene Peter worked as a journalist on the staff of the Star and was also a teacher, as a trained teacher. He's devoted so much of his life just to volunteerism, you know, working in communities. He's doing that full time now as the head of the Just for Peace International, working in inner city communities in Spanish Town, particularly rescuing lives. And your work became so known that Joseph, what was it, took you down to inner city communities, CSJP,
right.
CSJP, inner city communities in St. James,
yes,
Flanker,
and Granville.
And Granville, yes. Tell us about what you did there.
Okay, CSJP heard about my foundation and thought it was an excellent one. And so they interviewed me, and the work at Flankers, they were holding peace mobile concerts.
Okay.
And that is to bring a level of peace in these crime-prone communities. So I was asked to help and coordinate the program. So a team of us would go to Montego Bay, and we had to walk these communities and find these youths who were singing gun lyrics. Mm-hmm. It's not easy. They have the talent, but you will find 2 out of 3 verse pure gun lyrics.
Yeah, man, more than that.
It must shut out and all of those things.
That's right.
And it's not easy to tell them that
Precisely.
you have to change this line.
Got to get
or
a lot
that
of forward
line.
for
they
that
get a
kind
lot
of
of forward.
lyrics.
Yeah. But it worked out. We got some excellent talent in Granville and Flankers. Mm-hmm. And I also was asked to coordinate Peace Mobile concert in Kingston, including that community, Little Q Road and all of that. Mm-hmm. So it was great exposure, and I loved it a lot.
Mm-hmm. You work in other aspects of community development. You mentor people in a variety of areas, not just in terms of music. What would you say from all of your experiences you have come to as a main motivator for inner city people? How do you get people in those situations to start to take a positive view of life?
I think the media need to expose more people who are doing a lot in communities, yes. And there are some very simple people out there that is not getting the exposure, and it does not only take money to motivate people. Your ideas and your links, for example, I have taken on like 10 needy kids in Spanish Town whose father was murdered.
Oh, you have done that?
Yeah. And it's back to school. So parents, mothers, in fact, I don't know fathers very well. Mm-hmm. I hardly see these youth fathers. And mothers will come to me and say, look here, I have 4 children to go back to school, and you know, they murdered the father. What can you do? Because I've heard so much about you. Mm-hmm. I thought you was the mayor of Spanish Town. I mean, I just laugh at that. And I would ask them for the death certificate. Mm-hmm. The financial institution needs their the death certificate
and
of the
fathers. And you want to solicit money for them?
Right. I go to institutions like NCB Foundation, Supreme Ventures, Scotia Foundation, and JMNB Bank. And JMNB, Carla Girard, no. And Kim Mayer is doing an excellent job for a little girl who was deaf and dumb, and they murdered her father. She now goes to Caribbean Christian Center for the Deaf, and that bank pays all her fees.
So you act as a link to these institutions,
right? And
you are bringing help to people. Continue doing your work, Eugene Peter. Use an example of the kind of citizen whom we should be. Citizen who is involved, who is helping, who is leaving the world, who is intent to leave the world a better place, to leave Jamaica a better place, to leave one's community a better place. We thank you for your company on Issues and Answers. Until next week, Ian Boyne wishing you a pleasant day.
Protect Jamaica, plant your grass. Help us become more resilient to climate change impacts. Protect Jamaica, plant a tree. It improves the island's national biodiversity. Trees may be fruit, ornamental, or timber, but must be native or suitable to the area's natural landscape. Join the Jamaica Million Tree Campaign and help to plant 1 million trees by June 30, 2019. This is a call to action by the National Environment and Planning Agency.
A veteran journalist in the industry for the past 42 years, Ian Boyne has left an indelible mark on Jamaica. His life, his work, his legacy, it's unforgettable.
Through his deeds and words, spoken and written, the life of the nation has been influenced for the better. He is seen in the eyes of many as a truly outstanding and dedicated citizen whose work will continue to resonate in the hearts of many. Ian Boyne was an ardent reader, covering several books in a day or night. He always made time to enlighten society on the issues of the day, and so it wouldn't come as a surprise to hear him say,
I should be before my computer knocking out my column for this week.
His opinion pieces won him numerous awards, including Opinion Journalist of the Year on several occasions.
I am one who holds the view that the biggest deficit in Jamaica is the social deficit. It's not the political deficit. It is not the economic deficit. As crucial and as constraining as those deficits are, but it is the social deficit. The lack of trust, the lack of cooperativeness, the lack of cohesiveness, the fractiousness of us as a people, our divisiveness.
He was religious, philosophical, and an optimist.
Mr. Boyne was a person who was very much convinced that what he believed was the truth. He believed that we have a purpose here on earth as Christians.
He will be sadly missed, I know that for a fact, because of the information and the relationship that he used to foster amongst the brethren.
Years ago I came upon these words and adopted them. There is nothing that will happen today, Lord, that you and I can't work out. And whatever I face, I take that. And if you're not religious, you could take this one that says that worry is interest paid on trouble before it becomes due. We worry about a lot of things that never come true.
Through his hard-hitting television program Religious Hard Talk, Ian Boyne merged two of his loves, broadcast journalism and religion. And for 30 years, he hosted Jamaica's longest-running television show, The Indomitable Profile.
Ian and Television Jamaica, through the groundbreaking program Profile, have been promoting what is best about us, namely the many examples of Jamaicans who have excelled in their various fields of endeavor.
And as host of the Jamaica Information Service's flagship interview program, Issues and Answers, every Sunday he extracted relevant information to increase public awareness on national, bilateral, and multilateral issues.
How do you see the Caribbean strengthening its links with the larger Latin American region?
To define what are the areas that we would like to tackle together.
He has written and published inspiring books that garnered glowing acclaim, Profile of Excellence, and Ideas Matter. On October 19, 2009, a grateful nation recognized his outstanding work.
For contribution to the field of journalism.
Our colleague, journalist, talk show host, communication executive, director, chief state liaison of the Jamaica Information Service.
The conferment upon Ian Boyne of the national honor, the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander was an important statement of the value of his contribution to nation building through his unique brand of positive journalism. His dedication takes much more courage and commitment than it might at first seem to be. There are times when I read his columns and celebrate the freedom with which our press is blessed.
There is a view that journalism is only or primarily about the adversarial, the muckraking, the guerrilla, gladiatorial kind of journalism. That certainly has its place. Corruption must be uncovered, fraud must be dealt with, truth must be spoken to power. But if that is all that journalism does, it leaves a people dispirited, cynical, and disempowered. There is a role for positive journalism. There's a role to build up people's lives. That after you have seen all that is wrong, there is some energy left to do what is right. And this has been the gap that I've sought to fill in journalism in the years that I've been in the profession.
Ian Boyne's story is one of him rising from humble beginnings to achieving excellence. Driven by willpower and a determination for success, he exercised great interest in the diversity of the human experience, religion, international affairs, arts and culture, politics, and the vast range of socio-economic and governance issues.
Ian Boyne is truly what the philosophers call a dialectical thinker. Or as we in Jamaica would say, a truly non-tribal personality. One able to pick sense out of nonsense, and conversely, to discern nonsense in what appears to be orthodoxy, what appears to the naked eye as incontrovertible truth.
I want to thank Ian Boyne, because it is out of my interaction with him, ladies and gentlemen, out of watching his program, out of being mentored by him, that I came to believe in myself and I began to see possibilities for myself.
He has had a long career with the JIS, which he first joined in 1976 as a feature writer and a television broadcaster, when it was known as the Agency for Public Information, API. After a temporary departure, he rejoined the then named JIS in 2002 and was appointed Deputy Chief Executive Officer in 2010. His responsibilities included serving as Chief State Liaison to the offices of the Prime Minister, Governor General, and Leader of the Opposition, while giving oversight to the Research, Print and Production Division.
As Chief State Liaison, Mr. Boyne was responsible for arranging the national broadcasts and for being our front runner, representing the agency at the Office of the Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition. He would help with strategic communication for those offices and of course help to mobilize the resources of our agency.
Mr. Boyne was just a fantastic person. I just loved working with him. He's never pressured. He always has a kind word. He's never late with any of his projects. We work together on many, many projects. He doesn't pressure you, but he gets the job done. A remarkable human being.
He didn't settle for mediocrity, and he always called on the reporters. He encouraged them to strive for excellence and to ensure that their work was of the highest quality. He conducted training sessions for the reporters and editors often, and he ensured that all the feature stories and news releases that were disseminated from the editorial department were of the highest quality.
His life was not all about work. Ian Boyne made time to play, let loose and unwind, laughing a lot and even fancying himself a part-time singer.
Ready now? There is a rose in Spanish Harlem.
lovely human being. He's humble, even though he's so successful. It's not something that he puts in your face. He's just always a lovely person. I will surely miss him.
He was a remarkable colleague. His passing is a deep personal loss for me, and of course for the agency. Persons relied on him to be their advocate, their mediator. He was chief negotiator. He was just the go-between for many of us at all levels, management levels, the staff, and externally as well. And so his contribution was really invaluable.
Ian Boyne, the consummate professional, colleague, pastor, husband, father, friend. March 13, 1957 to December 18, 2017.
Don't wait until it's too late to express your love and appreciation for your loved ones. Spread love this Christmas and celebrate Christmas Day tomorrow in harmony with each other. I hope you found our program informative. Do send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. Stay informed on our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or download our app on your Apple and Android devices to catch up on the go. You can also visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for more information. On behalf of the entire production crew, I am Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.